pangarap ko maging tambay. So, ito yan. Noong bata ako, ang dami-dami kong gusto maging. Maging teacher, nurse, artista, doctor, writer, reporter, eme ngayon. Gusto ko na lang maging tambay kasi pagod na ako. B. Adulting is not for me. Drain na ako sa call center job ko at gusto ko na magsimula ng bagong buhay. Pero di ko alam saan. Mag-start ba ng magbagong business, mag-apply ng bagong work, maging influencer, or mag-give up na lang life at maging pabigat sa bahay. Sana all talaga may liberty to explore without worrying pag nag-fail ka. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that, Mudz?
Actually, dun sa last statement na yun, that's actually, for me, that's actually the root of the problem kasi. Like, if people start to expect something from you, especially yung mga, I'd say, parents, first-degree relatives, mga tita na, tito na nangingialam sa buhay mo kay di naman directly sa family line mo. For me, that's where the root of all problems, such as nape-pressure, kung parang if you're making enough for a living, or say, are you doing something significant to improve your lifestyle, to improve your family's life? Kasi apparently, napaka-common sa Philippines. Probably sa ibang bansa rin naman. Pero sa Philippines, napaka-common ng mindset na parang, since you're an adult, you already started working, it's your responsibility to, like, provide. Parang, for me kasi, on my perspective at least, hindi siya responsibility, more of parang, I wouldn't say obligation din, pero parang pagkukusa na parang since you already have the means to earn your own, parang you should not be obliged to immediately give back what they have given you. Parang ikaw na kusa, if you have extra, go. Kung for example, sakto lang kinikita mo, yes. Kung sakto lang kinikita mo, ipon ka muna, and then once you have saved it enough, treat your family out, di ba? So,
pwede.
I kind of understand the user sentiments na parang napapagod na siya sa career. Well, there are many factors din kasi, such as yung career choice. Napaka-big factor talaga ng career choice kasi minsan, for example, you graduated in IT, and most of the time, especially here in the Philippines, hindi talaga ganun kataas yung mga sahod na ng mga entry level. And since similarly to nurse, napakadami rin ng parang mga IT courses or IT graduates na gumagraduate every year. And unlike nurses have more opportunity abroad. Parang mas madali silang matanggap abroad since napaka-demanding talaga ng nurses sa Philippines. In that sense, you try to, basta, sige, hanap na lang muna work, whether it's IT related or not, as long as it pays well, or it pays something, I'd go with it. Diba? Then, another factor would be, yun nga, like the user said, is, may trabaho ka, and syempre, once you feel, or parang you're starting to earn something, nafe-feel mo na parang, okay, so, kumikita na ako, ano kayong pwede kong bilhin, mabibili ko na ba yung mga gusto kong bilhin, ganun, so forth. And then, there's also this subconscious mind na parang, shit, kailangan ko rin mag-provide my family, or at least parang tumulong sa groceries, sa mga bayarin, ganon. Although, not everyone has the same situation. Some are parang understandable naman na parang, sige, pinaghirapan mo yan. Sige, you do what you want with your money and hard work, diba? Pero, sometimes, especially if you've been working for a lot of years na, 5 years or more on the same industry, ika nga nila, once you're comfortable with something, that confidence will break your passion. Like, since sanay ka na, parang muscle memory na yung mga ginagawa sa'yo, you don't learn something new. You tend to stay there kasi nga comfort zone mo eh. So you're afraid to challenge yourself to improve more or improve your lifestyle. Kasi, parang bakit pa kailangan gumawa nun when this pays me well, diba? So, similarly to us sa Cinestil, parang since we started as street photographers, and then we ventured into portrait photography, and we also face some challenges such as sino mga model kukunin kasi by that time wala namang kilala masyado eh. Para hanapin mo. Parang kasi ang awkward din kasi ng parang, uy, pwede ka bang namin gawing model na approach kind of thing. So it's kind of creepy. Diba?
Creepy ng ganun.
Yeah, so we started off with cosplay and then venture out started more. Syempre, along the way, there were many challenges. And those challenges will eventually make you improve on your craft or any career progression that you have. So, sa mga at some point din naman, pinangarap natin na maging tambay na lang. Alam mo yun? Parang,
problema sa buhay.
Walang problema sa buhay. But then again, sometimes it's okay na parang maging tambay ka for a while as long as you have already saved something, diba? Parang you don't have to worry what you have to get for the next couple of months. And unfortunately, mahirap siya ma-achieve dito sa current state ng ano ba tag? Middle class employees, yes. Kasi even though you have saved up for like, let's say, tagtatrabaho ka for a company for X number of years, kapag save up ka na ng sarili mong savings, due to the inflation and, you know, especially yung mga basic necessities, the prices are increasing, parang nape-pressure ka pa rin na parang, oh shit, parang hindi pa, kulang pa yung naipon ko after working for X number of years, after doing those overtimes.
Hindi mo pantay.
Yes, nagpapasikat ka sa company para magkaroon ng raise. So, I kinda understand the sentiment na parang you get tired.
Nakakapagod
talaga. Kasi parang you're doing extra work for a little bit of pay. Yun eh. So, it's kinda disappointing na parang we want to challenge ourselves, but at the same time, we are being limited by the society to improve. We parang sarili natin, tayong ourselves try to find challenges on other places instead. Which is, for me, it's fine lang din naman. Pero then again, not everyone has the privilege or the opportunity to do so.
Pwede naman, yeah. Yung talaga yung, parang mahirap ka naman talaga dito. Same din doon sa sinasabi mo actually sa umpisa nga na the very crux ng post na to is yung last part, which is napapaisip siya sa lahat na to kasi nagiging pabigat daw siya sa bahay. So parang wala siyang technical. Sana all may liberty to explore without worrying pag nag-fail ka. Parang ito sa kanya is like medyo one time lang siya magkakaroon ng chance kung if ever na mag-venture out. So, technically, in his or her situation, stuck siya sa pagiging, nag-work sa call center,
yes.
Diba? And in that sense, parang, minsan hindi talaga alam ng mga tao kung ano yung pwede nila gawin. Hindi nila alam na, or at least hindi nila feel na pwede sila magsumubok na ibang bagay kasi talagang sobrang, how do you say this? Sobrang
failure is not an option.
Hindi talaga option yung failure sa kanila, diba? Sobrang stuck talaga sila sa mindset na if I fail, one time ka lang mag-fail, wala ka na way para bumalik.
Kumbaga, it's either you win or you lose talaga for them. Like sa business, it's either nag-invest ka na malaki and then scam ka. So wala na.
Ayun nga eh.
So you failed that and then wala na. You have to start all over again.
Yeah, piling ko kasi sa ganyan naman, kasi maganda naman dito sa mo kanina for that part na madami naman talagang pwede magawa talaga if you are more adventurous siguro na sabihin natin na ganun. Pero in terms of the worry of someone na di nila alam kung pwede sila mag-fail, paano kaya ipapakita sa tao na pwede naman talaga? Kasi for me, yung easy answer na parang pwede ka naman mag-fail talaga. Like,
yes,
you can try doing one thing or again, hindi naman kailangan ilagay mo lahat. Ganyan, sabi niya, paano gusto ko magbagong work or magbagong business or maging influencer. It doesn't mean na ititigil mo yung current job niya na call center. Pwede naman niya isabay yun. Kung wala siyang oras, edi pwede nang bawasan na muna para magka-oras siya.
Yes.
Kasi I don't think it's possible naman. Siguro in very specific circumstances, talagang wala na siya ibang oras. Pero this person, I could imagine, talagang pabigat sa bahay. So I could imagine they still live with their parents, ganyan. So they are working and then they have that time to work and then pag umuwi sila, they have this other time to do anything else.
Mm.
So, they could maybe think na parang, okay, gusto ko maglaro, gusto ko maganyan para naman makapagpahinga,
Yes.
diba? Pero ang ano ko dyan is, pwede naman gawin yung energy na yun to do other things na not necessarily magkakapera ka, pero productive.
Yeah.
So, something like this, yung podcast, parang gumawa ng ibang mga bagay na maybe hindi agad magkaka-return of investment, pero working towards it for a while, dahil sa inyo, photography, ganyan-ganyan, magkakaroon siya ng benefit pa rin at the end. So, ang hirap na talaga, I don't know, may iba pa bang way para mapakita sa mga tao na it's not necessarily na mag-feel kapag umabot ka dito?
Oo.
What do you think?
Well, for me kasi, whenever, whichever, if it's in term of business or career choice, or for example, career shift. Let's
Ayun,
say,
career shift talaga.
Like dito kay, sa user na to, nag-decide siya, okay, siguro for next year, I'll try to find a new job, a different job na hindi call center, ganon. That's fine, totally fine. And people should start learning na parang failure is part of progression.
Yun talaga.
Failure is part of progression talaga. Whether you like it or not, whether you try to avoid mistakes or not, it will happen.
Yeah.
The best thing that a person can do is to lessen the chances na magkamali or to lessen the chances of the failure. Pero they should not remove it on their mindset na parang
na hindi pwede mag-fail.
na hindi pwede mag-fail.
Kasi talagang unrealistic yun.
Yes. In terms of business, ganun din naman. Mas lalo na sa business, di ba? If you're doing, like, say, career shift, siguro at most yung mga failure na ma-realize mo dyan is, syempre, since yung most of your career is call center or BPOs, if you try to find a different type of job, yung pinaka-hardship na siguro na isa sa mga matatakil mo is finding someone to actually hire you based on your experience. But then again, that's part of it kasi, diba? That's part of the process. Even those with the experience that does not have the guarantee. Sila,
hindi siya
so it's the same thing. Yes, it's just that medyo ahead lang sila ng konti in terms of experience. But there will be times na parang mas i-hire ka nila even though you don't have the experience but you have the capabilities or the means to be able to do well on that job. So similar sa business na parang hindi porket trendy or booming yung that type of business, once na nag-join ka, immediately you'll return all of your investments. Same thing. Kasi there's no such thing as instant return kasi. Especially in business. Wala naman talaga ganun. Similarly sa mga careers, especially those who are doing career shifts. Like for example, me, from, let's say, ako ngayon, quality assurance ako. And then I decided, okay, sige, I might stop being a QA na and focus on photography or filmmaking. I know the risk na it won't, all of the amount of times and the money that I invested in our gears, it won't be immediately returned.
Hindi siya mabalik agad.
That's part talaga eh. But in order for people to learn na failure is an option and failure is part of progress, is that siguro at most they should not be afraid. They should not be afraid of failing, but they should be prepared.
Yeah.
They should be prepared.
Parang meron kang contingency plan if ever.
Kasi it's something unavoidable eh. Nandyan na talaga siya. It will happen eventually.
Yeah. Okay. I think maganda yan. Actually, going back again with the post, I think ang magandang way to cap this up is, especially what you said, sana talaga, sana all may liberty to explore without worrying pag nag-fail ka. Etong part na to is an assumption na people have the liberty. Siguro may mga ibang tao nga doon na napakayaman nila, wala silang pwede sila mag-try ng iba-ibang bagay. Pero okay, let's say may ganyan. Pero if ever hindi nga, hindi pa rin yun yung end. There are people na parang, let's say more of within sa range natin na we could try other stuff, we could fail and do those things. Pero hindi meaning nun na parang wala ka na liberty. You get the liberty by having the contingency plan and knowing that you could fail and knowing what to do if things go bad, if things don't go your way, diba? Hindi siya lahat na parang put all eggs in one basket tapos bahala na. Talagang gagawa mo siya ng paraan na okay, mag-photography ako, lagay ako ng pera dito, pero may pera pa rin ako dito para kung ano man mangyari, pwede ko itong balikan or pwede ako magtrabaho ng iba pa, diba? Hindi siya nag-e-end lang doon. Yun yung siguro magandang way na i-describe to. So, kung makita to ng OPU, if ever, di ba, para malaman mo, it's not na wala tayong liberty to do this.
Yes.
We are not worried to fail if we know that what we'll do kung magpa-fail tayo. Ayun.
Yes.
Diba? So, without worrying, pag nag-fail ka, that doesn't mean na hindi ka magpa-fail. That means na kung mag-fail ka, alam mo kung ano yung gagawin mo. Hindi ka mag-worry pa rin kung ano kung ginawa mo yun. Meron pang madadagdag.
Yun lang. For the user, for the poster or the OP ng post is that failure is part of the progress. And whether, like nasabi niya, parang no room for failures is that I'm guessing is because of peer pressure na. Peer pressure na talaga siya. So whether it's peer pressure or any other aspect, ang reason kung bakit takot siyang mag-fail is eventually you've already failed. Along all the years in your current job or current career, I'm pretty sure you already failed and you've already experienced failure, and that's okay. And you won't be where you are right now if you didn't accept that failure. Yun lang naman.
True. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the next topic. Mas mabigat naman to, or at least mas relatable sa atin.
Yes.
And the title ba tawag dito sa pag sa Reddit?
Pwede naman title.
The title of the post is nakaka-pressure, no? So here's the content. It's a story actually. So early this morning, nag-message sa akin mama ko saying, dapat may ipon ka na para sa sarili ko. May ipon na ako para sa sarili ko. Yung plans namin na papagawa ka ng bahay, ano ba daw gusto kong gawin sa buhay ko ngayon na 27 years old na ako. And in all honesty, di ko alam ano sasabihin sa kanya. Yung nasabi ko na lang, may ipon ako pero hindi malaki. So, for the context daw, I'm single or they're single. And halos mama naman daw niya sumusupport sa bunso nila na kapatid sa college. Nagbibigay na siya ng allowance at food kapag umuwi sa bahay pag nasa province. Kasi nasa province yung kapatid niya. Kapag urgent need ng bayarin or pera, mabilis naman siya magbibigay kasi maliit yung ipon niya. Ano? Kasi kung yung maliit ko na ipon, yun yung binibigay kaya. So yung maliit na ipon niya yung binibigay niya. Pero feeling niya hindi enough. Hindi daw niya alam paano explain sa mama niya na ang hirap makasurvive with the amount of salary na meron lang siya. Plus nag-rent lang siya dito sa Manila. Hindi niya alam, hindi niya masasabi na malaki yung sahod enough na para makasurvive. Minsan, tinitreat ng sarili na ng mga bagay na hindi niya afford noon. Kaya alam ko may times na hindi ako makakapagdagdag sa ipon. Nakaka-pressure every time na ma-bring up ng mama niya yung ipon kasi nag-try naman daw siya pero iba-balance kung ano yung meron siya. With this, naisip na maghanap ng part-time para may extra income. In the end, feeling ko hindi ako strong enough para pabari-bari ko sa pagbabasa eh. I need more time with this, with all of these. Nararamdaman ko na sobrang kulang ko para sa kanila. As much as possible, I don't want to pressure myself kung nasaan ako as it triggers bad thinking. I don't know, baka ako lang nagpe-pressure sa sarili ko or inisip na nakaka-pressure. It's just hard to survive. So, Mr. Mudz, what do you think?
Somewhat. I'd say medyo nakaka-relate ako sa I wouldn't say situation, pero like something similar.
Yeah.
I understand the pressure. I think we all do.
Yeah.
We have
Tumatanda na.
we have this pressure that we feel on a different level kasi syempre iba sa'yo, iba sa amin, iba sa ibang tao, di ba? Pero more often than not kasi is a lot of older generation people doesn't really realize na parang inflation here in the Philippines is nothing similar to other countries na parang may inflation nga pero at the same time gradually tumataas din yung mga salaries, nagba-balance out, 'di ba? Sa atin kasi ang taas ng inflation natin and yet the amount of salary that we get is not enough. 'Di ba? And like the OP said na parang nagre-rent pa siya. On top of the other bills that she has, she or he has to pay is patong-patong eh. So for example, to give us light context is that for example, you're earning an average kasi parang I believe 20 to 25k yung ano eh. So actually, sortihan na nga kapag naging 25k, di ba? So let's say 20k.
Yeah.
And then your monthly rent, including the utility bills, kuryente, tubig, Wi-Fi perhaps, is let's say 3 to 4,000. Wala pa dun yung mga tax, yung mga SSS, PhilHealth, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the month, you have left at least with maybe around 13 to 15k minus all of the bills, diba?
Oh.
And
Maganda na yun.
maganda. Kung tutusin, medyo okay na yun. But then again, once you start doing groceries, necessities pa lang kasi ako, na-experience ko to, nakikita ko talaga yung big difference kasi during nung pre-COVID days when I was doing my grocery, necessities like mga ulam, chicken, veggies, so on and so forth, panglabahan, mga soap, all of those is around like mga 2.5 more or less. Depende sa dami na lang, di ba? Ngayon, with the same amount, umabot na ng 3.5 to 4k. So parang ramdam ko talaga yung inflation despite of the same amount of salary that we get. So as someone who's trying to do best surviving day by day, nakaka-pressure naman talaga, especially coming from your parents. Na parang, may ipon ka na, ilang taong ka na, dapat may ipon ka na, di ba? Dapat kumikita ka na ng ganito, ganyan. It's a sad reality that most of younger generations, especially our generation, are facing. Kasi nga, there were dumaan pa ang COVID, dumaan pa yung pandemic, and I know a lot of us lost our work. Yung iba na lay off, yung iba naman had to like take risk of starting their own business kasi nga, COVID situation was really bad.
Yeah.
And so na-understand ko yung pressure na parang at that age, most probably siguro yung parents ni OP or parents ng ibang tao, most probably during at that age, already have their own business.
Yeah.
They already have their own living.
Nakakangipot na.
Yes, so, di ba? Pero we also have to understand that during that time, during their time, hindi pa ganun kataas inflation.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money that they receive on a monthly basis is probably enough to last them the next month as well. Di tulad nung ngayon. And may na-mention siya na parang decided siya to buy something that he or she has been wanting, di ba? Na parang pero hindi niya magawa kasi nga parang naiisip niya na parang kailangan niya mag-provide. Di ba? So actually, meron akong pinaplanong short film about that, especially for breadwinner.
Breadwinner talaga yung dating.
Yung mga affected talaga dyan sa mga breadwinner. You wanted to buy something that you have been waiting for a couple of months kasi nag-iipon ka on top of nagpapadala ka, tumutulong ka sa bahay, ganun. You have, kahit kaya mo nang bilhin, you still have this like 50-50 thought na parang, should I buy it? Should I get it? Kasi nga parang kailangan kong magpadala ng pera. Kailangan sa bahay, kailangan ganito, kailangan ganyan. So, nape-pressure sila na parang, sige, save ko na lang. Even though I really want that thing, I want that, I want to buy that, what I've been wanting, I have to like prioritize something else. And, mahirap naman talaga sagutin. Yung tanong, no? Yung mga tanong na parang, may ipon ka na ba? Magkano na naipon mo?
Mahirap naman talaga.
Yes. Kasi nga, parents should also understand na our times right now is very, very different. Napakahirap talaga, yes. And saving up money on top of trying to help the household and trying to survive on your own, wala ka talaga maiipon eh. Maliit lang talaga maiipon mo. Even though kahit i-limit mo na yung self mo on buying things or buying things that you want, konti na talaga maiipon mo per month.
Yes. So, true naman sa ganun. Feeling ko naman, ang take ko naman dito is, actually, similar naman din sa'yo. The question talaga, ako na yun, I'll rephrase na kasi sabi mo na parang, sana or dapat talaga nakikita rin ng parents yung paano yung situation natin, diba? So, how do we do that? Yun na lang yung ano ko dito eh.
How do we make them realize?
How do we make them realize, diba? So, ako naman sa natutunan ko, basically, just how to communicate talaga. We all want to be understood. Yun talaga yung ano dyan eh. Gusto natin maintindihan tayo ng parents. And siguro din merong part yung parents na baka hindi natin nagigets pa pero gusto nila maintindihan din natin sila. And on our part, nagigets naman natin na okay, gusto nila may ipon kasi nga it all makes sense na mas maganda talaga kung may ipon ka.
Kasi para sa atin din naman yan.
Kung may, para sa atin naman, kung may security ka, diba, ganyan. Pero, the conversation, for me, ideally would start with that, with understanding. Instead of ask mo agad na, intindihin mo ako, sabihin mo agad sa akin na, ito yung, parang, okay, ma, or pa, parang, naiintindihan ko, gusto mo magganto ako para dito, ganyan. Para magka-security ako, para magka-family o whatever. Meron ba ako na-miss? Yun din sa mga bagay na minsan akala mo, gagets mo na eh, pero hindi pa pala. Meron pa pala sa naman kasi ganito pala. Okay, baka dahil
may mga missing points.
Meron pa silang ibang iniisip na factors kung bakit nila, bakit nila specify na, gusto nila magawa natin to, gusto natin magkapera na ganito, diba? Pero yung general naman talaga na answer dyan is yung para may security yung person para for their future.
It's for us din naman kasi.
Yeah.
It's for us.
So, pwede rin i-express na, okay, I understand na nung panahon nyo, ganyan yung nangyayari, nung panahon nyo, ito yung nagawa nyo, you got to save up, blah, blah, baka, to make it fair na lang, sabihin na, baka nung panahon nyo, walang Shopee, walang Lazada, hindi kayo magastos, walang kailangan na,
walang additional expenses.
Walang temptations, kumbaga, parang simpleng buhay lang sa barrio, wala silang ginagawa. So,
you don't have access to efficient way of shopping.
So, hindi sila napubudol, diba? So, may ganon. Okay, sabihin natin, that's another reason why baka nakapag-save sila on top of na mas mababa yung inflation doon. Then, okay, you hit them with your understanding. And then, pag ganon, doon ka mas merong right makapag-ask, can you tell me how you understand naman? Ano yung situation namin? Paano ba naman dito? Para makita din naman. Baka naigets naman nila talaga. Kasi yung maganda dyan is, okay, naigets nila pero hindi nila ma-i-connect.
Yes. Parang hindi nila visualize.
Having that conversation actually would help out with that na, okay, i-visualize nila, sabihin na, okay, nagigets ko naman na may inflation dito. Lahat na sabi mo, diba? May inflation ngayon, mas mahirap talaga mag-ipon, mas malaki yung mga gastos. Plus sabihin na natin, kasi kayo merong mga lahat na kahit saan ka magka-computer or saan ka magka-phone, talagang ibubudol ka ng internet para bumili na kung ano-ano, diba? Kahit naman sabihin natin na necessity talaga, or sabihin nga, even dun sa mga groceries and stuff like that, like actual necessities, like, if you want to live a decent life, like, hindi naman yung bare minimum na parang surviving ka lang.
Surviving day by day.
You want quality meat, you want quality food. Siyempre, may mga paggastos ka. Kung gusto mo talaga maging mid-maxer sa buhay, edi bibili mo lahat ng mga scraps na lang para may makain ka, diba? Puro pansit ka doon na nakakain mo araw-araw. Which is not realistic na naman.
And which will eventually be more harmful for the future. Mas malaki magagastos mo eventually.
Maganda yung pera mo sa future para sa hospital, diba? Yung nangyari doon, no? Pero, ayun, it might end up like that na, okay, maiano ng parents yun. And then, that's how the conversation will circulate na ulit na parang, okay, that's their understanding of you. And then, we can start talking, ano bang pwedeng magawa? Ano bang pwedeng maitulong? Kasi, the hard part dito kasi minsan is, there are, di ba kung arrogance or pride minsan na parang, alam ko to kasi yung sinasabi man tayo parang generation ko to, alam ko to kaya hindi mo wala kang makakita dito.
Yes. Pero their ego or their pride not to understand the other side of the story.
Baka meron din kasing may itutulong sana na, okay, sabihin mo sa akin, nagigets mo na lahat. Tapos sasabihin pa ng pets, hindi, pero gusto ko talaga may savings ka. Okay, ano bang gagawa natin? Now that we know everything, ano bang pwede natin gawin dito? Ano bang yung feeling mo dito? Magagawa natin, diba? Pwede ka magbigay, pwede rin ako mag-isip ka rin, ano ba mga pwedeng gawin? Hindi, it's not, hindi siya, kumbaga, hindi siya parang single player game na, bahala ka, bibigay sa'yo ng mission. Parang, co-op multiplayer kayo, tutulungan kayo para, makikita nyo, pwede itong gawin, pwedeng, magtatrabaho muna ako, okay, pag, testing ako ng bagong trabaho, parang kanina ba yung sabi, parang, sige, okay ba sa'yo, testing ako ng bagong trabaho, mas maganda. Pero kung mag-fail to, pwede ba ako mag-ask sa'yo for a fallback muna? Diba? Para, okay, we can have that more, something more risky. Pero in case
You have
na
more options.
we are more options ka. At least we can work as a family pag gano'n,
Yes.
diba? And kung hindi, edi kung hindi talaga sila makakatulong, kung walang ganyan, edi at least there's more of a reality check na, okay, ito lang talaga yung kaya ng ni anak. Ito yung kaya niya talaga ngayon. Wala naman siya magagawa about it. And wala rin tayong magagawa about it.
Yes.
The actually gusto ko yung madagdag dito kasi sa akin more of compassion side yung ginagawa ko kanina pero more on the legal side na lang.
Okay.
Sa legal side naman kasi dyan is, diba yung sinasabi natin na pinalaki tayo ng parents, kaya may obligation kumbaga
yes.
para ibalik sa kanila. Yung sinasabi ko kayo na parang hindi naman sa obligation yung ibabalik ng anak, pero more of utang na loob, courtesy, ganyan. Pero sa ganon, legally speaking, wala talaga dapat. Ang may legal obligation na talaga is ipalaki ng parents yung mga anak nila until their legal age, 18, ganyan. Bayaran yung mga kailangan na gano'n. After that, pwede na sila I forget the term, pero not legally separated na kumbaga, like may sariling identity na yung anak. And they can live their life however they want.
Yes.
Hindi siya, yun naman, wala namang legal obligation na magbalik naman yung anak sa magulang. Parang na lang yun, courtesy na lang
courtesy
yun.
na lang talaga. If you want to give, diba?
Pero in that sense, parang hindi parang minsan kasi yung mga tao na napapaisip sila na parang may utang na loob ako dito sa tao na to. Pero sige, sabihin mo may utang ka na loob ko sa tao na to dahil ginawa nila yung yung sinasabi ng batas. Kasi parang kung hindi sinabi ng batas to, madaming tatakas na ganyan diba?
Yes.
Or like yung
gagawing loophole.
Gagawing loophole, diba? So in that sense na lang, dinagdag ko na lang para masabi na okay, hindi naman necessarily ganun lahat. We can
not all, not everyone.
Yeah, we could still work through it and see ano ba pwedeng gawin.
And siguro for the parent side naman, I'm pretty sure yung those your children who are already working, yung mga nasa trabaho na, nasa middle class na, those who are trying to survive and earn on their own, I'm pretty sure aware yan sila na parang kailangan na nilang mag-ipon. The amount of money that they lose on a monthly basis sa pa lang, sa mga necessities pa lang, rents, bills, groceries, and so forth. I'm pretty sure doon pa lang magiging aware na sila na parang, okay, parang ang hirap na. Kailangan ko na talaga mag-ipon. So, parang they themselves realize already na parang kailangan nila mag-ipon. So, being raised that topic sa kanila, especially coming from the parents itself, mas lalo talaga sila mapapressure. On top of, I'm already pressured by my own self na parang kailangan ko mag-ipon, pero mahirap. Dadagdagan pa ng pressure na parang kailangan mo na mag-ipon. At this age, dapat kasal ka na. At this age, dapat may ganito, may ganyan ka na. So, it doesn't really help. Siguro, I'm pretty sure naman most of the parents out there are aware of what their children is feeling.
They're concerned talaga.
Siguro concerned naman talaga sila. All of the parents are pretty much concerned naman sa situation ng anak nila. And we all know they just wanted their child to be secure for life without heavily relying on them, diba? Pero at the same time, the parents should also learn how to communicate these feelings to their children instead of saying na parang, uy, dapat may ipon ka na, dapat may ganito ka na. Instead of like blurting out what they need to do or what they need to achieve, tell them in a different way na parang, uy, okay ka lang ba? May kailangan ka bang tulong? And then bring up those topics na parang, magkano na, instead of saying na parang dapat may ipon ka na, tanong, nakakaipon ka naman ba? Kamusta naman yung yung buhay mo sa Manila, so on and so forth. I think most of the time, the children, especially those who are trying to survive day by day, try to survive their own, just wants to hear one simple question from their parents. Okay ka lang ba? How are you doing? Kamusta? Nahihirapan ka ba ngayon? Gusto mo bumisita ka na dyan? Those simple words can make your children's life better. Yun lang talagang masasabi ko. Like, especially if you're coming from a very, very toxic work, toxic company, na parang pag uwi mo, walang mag-welcome sa'yo, nobody's there. Kumbaga, parang diretso na sa kwarto mo, and all you have to do now to stress relieve is maglaro, mag-game, talk to your friends. So, there's this feeling na most children nowadays tend to find home on their friends instead of on their actual houses. Kasi parang mas welcoming yung friends nila. Diba? So, yun lang, just for siguro for the parent side, ask your child or ask your children how they're doing, if they're okay. Kamustahin nyo. And I'm pretty sure it would be probably the biggest compliment that they'll be hearing from the parent. Na parang, uy, kinakamusta ako ng parents ko, di ba? Especially those sabi ko na, yung mga breadwinners. Especially the breadwinners. You ask them, kamusta ka na? Parang, okay naman, bumisita kami dyan. It would make their day the best, probably the best days of their lives.
Siguro sa ganun nga rin maganda na lang din madagdag like yun nga, on what the parents can do is kasi the way it comes off talaga pag yung parang dapat ganito ginagawa mo it kind of hindi yung sinasabi pero it kind of reflects naman on the other side na hindi mo pa ito nagagawa. Pero ito yung mga failures mo, diba? So parang instead of pointing out the failures, kasi depende na rin siguro sa tao kung mahilig sila sa positive or negative affirmation. Pero ako, I lean more towards na parang maganda talaga positive affirmation. And negative affirmation, it could work, pero hindi siya maganda in the long run.
And also could possibly have side effects.
Yun nga. So parang sa ganyan, dun sa mga kamusta yung parents, so parang kahit na meron silang sasabihin, okay, kumusta ka na, okay naman, and then i-approach yung topic on, parang pwede ba kumusta na yung pag-iipon mo, ganyan-ganyan. I-affirm din naman yung mga nagawa na, okay, mukhang maganda nagawa naman to. Yun nga, i-showing the understanding ulit na.
Yung showing sympathy.
Yeah, sympathy about it, and again, the
at least yun, kasi parang magaan yung dating sa, instead of like,
hindi siya
na parang,
hindi siya adversarial. Hindi kayo magkaaway yung usapan. Kasi yun yung mahirap eh. Pag mag-uusap kayo na magkaaway kayo, parang
wala talaga.
Walang
parang like one of you tries to up one, diba? Parang ganon. So, mas magandang approach talaga is yung, uy, kamustahin mo? Kasi it's been a long while. It's been a hard day, kumbaga, diba? So, at least yun, may ease up yung tension in between those conversations. And then you can start bringing up what things. Siyempre, dapat kailangan mo pa rin as a parent, you still have to like acknowledge the good things that they have done.
Yeah.
And try not to focus much on the negative side kasi I'm pretty sure
alam na
nila. And pinapressure na nila sarili nila dyan eh. So the last thing that they could hear from their parents is nagging. Bakit hindi pa sila nakakapag-ipon at that age, at that year, diba?
True.
Yun lang naman. And I guess siguro isa na rin doon is one, based din sa naman nakikita ko, kaya parang medyo on the rise yung depression, especially sa mga sa age natin, is because of the peer pressure. It's because of the pressure na parang I know my parents wanted me to do this, wanted me to be able to provide, but I'm not being able to provide. So that kind of mindset just goes back and forth sa utak natin, and eventually will lead to like having depressive mindset na parang I'm a failure, diba? So instead, ask them, kamustahin nyo? That simple gesture would probably be something big.
May malaking matulong talaga.
It's a very big impact.
Okay, so for our last topic naman ngayon, the title is, it's been 3 months, but I'm still unemployed. I've been actively applying for jobs, done a few exams and interviews. Some were initial interview pa lang, pero di ko na pinaligan. Meron hanggang final interview pero posted after. I don't know what went wrong during my interviews kasi confident naman ako na maayos yung mga sagot ko. I'm losing hope. Tapos may FOMO pa because my friends have jobs na. I feel like a failure because I can't even land a single job for someone na academic achiever during my university days. I like, ano na?
Yun. So,
academic achiever.
Hindi naman, I'm not an academic achiever, no. Hindi, siguro nung high school, not so much. Elementary, yes. Pero, honestly, I've never even tried to really become an academic achiever, no. As long as makapasa, okay na yun. Kasi,
Save.
Yes. As long as makapasa, actually, naalala ko nga, math lang, basic math, nababagsak ko pa eh. Pero, it's, then again, I'm not really an academic achiever. As long as makapasa ako with, not necessarily with flying colors, that's fine. As long as makagraduate on time, that's good. Yun lang naman yung parang, talaga yung perspective ko eh. Kasi, I've learned na parang, once you graduate, grades doesn't really matter.
Oh.
Grades doesn't really matter. Siguro at first makakatulong lang to boost your capabilities of being hired, no? Para tumaas lang yung chances mo of being hired, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's required,
Yeah.
'di ba? It's still on your personality and character if you'll be able to get hired. So in this case, according kay OP, it's been 3 months but I'm still unemployed. So uh a brief history on my career progression is that after I graduated, I myself decided na parang ayoko muna mag-work. Ayoko muna work and I deserve a good amount of rest after studying for, ilan ba? 14? Tama ba? 14 years? Yes, 14 years. After studying for 14 years, I guess I deserve a good long rest, diba? So I've been unemployed for almost a year, I guess 8 to 10 months, parang ganun, before I managed to land my first job. Pero during that 8 months, I didn't really bothered applying. Siguro nakikita ko lang yung mga classmates ko during college na parang they've already started working. And for me, that's fine. No? Parang kasi mas priority ko yung well-being ko.
Yeah.
So I rested, I took my time, rested, played games, went out, hung out with cousins and friends, so on and so forth. Pero then again, in terms of employment naman is, I'd say for us, it's a really hit and miss. Hit and miss talaga sa atin, especially if you're trying to aim for a little bit more over the top kind of job description, no?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, siguro according naman kay OP, wala namang in-indicate si OP na parang first time niya palang mag-a-apply sa job or parang siguro change of job na to.
But
Wala siyang in-indicated. So
yung assumption ko na dito is fresh grad na naghahanap ng
yes, most
kasi nga yung the only thing tapat niya na masasabi is academic achiever siya ng university.
Yes. So I wouldn't say na parang nakaka-relate ako na academic achiever kasi then again, I'm not an academic achiever as long as makapasa ako, okay na yun. Pero siguro at most, I understand na parang if you're an academic achiever, you tend to have this mindset na parang everything will go smoothly.
Okay,
Diba?
confident
Oo.
sa bias.
Yes. So, confidence is key naman talaga when you're trying to apply for something. But, may napanood akong YouTube before. I forgot who's the content creator. Pero, parang at this age, at this era, at this year, people are having a hard time. Generally, more people are having a hard time applying or being able to land a job, whether here sa Philippines or in other countries. And there are many factors to it. Kasi number one, nauuso na rin yung work from home. So we can't really blame the companies if they prefer hiring people from other countries. Kasi work from home naman, they don't have to go to offices. So if they tend to find other more efficient people in other countries, and we can't deny, there are many companies there na mag-hire ng remote people to work for them for a lower salary.
Yeah.
Kasi nga work from home naman.
True.
So there's a lot of factor. Sobrang dami talagang factor as to why a lot of companies tend to like be very picky with their hirees. Kasi nga marami nang ganap ngayon. Yes. Oo, 'di ba? And siguro to share na lang din, when I went to Singapore to apply for a job or to look for a job at least, it was a very risky move. It was a very risky move kasi una, I didn't try to apply online. Hindi ko sinubukang mag-apply through mga
Site
yung
or
jobs
agency.
PH or mga agency, yes, mga online job application didn't try. I went there for a vacation. Wala lang, parang deserve ko lang magpahinga after working for many years, 'di ba? And so I tried applying.
Like in person?
In person.
Wow.
Yes. I tried applying in person. And it was hard actually. Sobrang hirap talaga to the point na lahat ng job application sites na nakita ko. In-applyan ko, I made an account, I made every single resume that they think it would be nice to their HR. And I graduated as an IT student, and yung current job ko that time was manual tester. So initially, syempre, yung mga in-applyan ko is something related to my current job, which is manual tester. So in-applyan ko lahat. And walang nagre-reply talaga sa akin. As in, out of like 20 jobs that I applied, 0 came back. Those type of situations. And then to the point na parang I tried to change my goal, which is parang goal na parang makahanap ng work and eventually land a work that can provide me with a working visa.
Yeah.
Para at least from then on, kasi pag you have visa na, medyo madali nang mag-switch ng jobs.
Yeah.
Kasi you already have working visa, diba? So that was my goal. Eventually, I applied every single type of jobs. Not every single, pero even out of scope ng current career ko, swimming teacher. Apply ako swimming teacher. Apply ako swimming teacher, English teacher, since I know how to speak English naman, and I've learned proper English naman. In-applyan ko rin lahat, as in
Swimming.
yes, truly. Pero yun nga, that's the parang gist eh. And it took me a month before I'm able to land a job. Parang so the reason why it became more risky kasi I went there with my own savings, own money. So kapag hindi nag-succeed yung venture ko to find a job in Singapore, it's fine. Pero yun nga lang, I lost a lot of money. Ang laki na nang invest ko doon yung airline, yung hotels, and yung expenses doon, di ba? So, for me, it was fine. It was an expensive lesson to learn pag hindi ako nakaland. And thankfully, nakaland ako ng job. And then, when I came back to the Philippines, COVID happened. Yes, COVID happened. And eventually, the company switched to a work from home setup. So, ganun lang siya. So, I guess, my take on this is that whether you're unemployed for a long month now or a while, don't lose hope. Diba? Don't lose hope. Keep persevering. Kasi honestly, I there's no way to sugarcoat this. Sobrang hirap na talaga mag-apply ng trabaho ngayon. Mahirap talaga. Whether you're on a technology career or medical field, mahirap na talagang mag-apply ngayon, especially if we start to be a little bit picky with the jobs that we want. Kasi nga, di ba, syempre, factor na din dyan is well-paying job.
Yeah.
And I can't blame the applicants na parang naghahanap sila ng medyo mataas ang salary kasi nga, they have to survive.
Yeah.
And then again, like tulad ng mga nasabi ko before, due to inflation, a lot of people tend to look more forward to those company na medyo okay magbayad kasi nga they have bills to pay and some family to support, diba? So keep persevering and don't lose hope kasi on our advantage over the other applicants is that we have access to online jobs now. We have access to remote jobs. So if hindi ka man pala rin sa mga local jobs natin dito na parang wala masyadong nag-hire, actually isa rin sa mga problems ko rin in some companies here is that they don't let you know whether you have been selected or not. Kaya nung sabi ni OP na parang ginost na lang siya, which is very, very frustrating, di ba? I've already experienced it.
Wala pag kinuha ka pa. Hindi ka kinuha.
Wala. Parang you're having this false hope na lang na parang nakuha ba ako or just waiting for something. And that's the problem eh. Kaya usually, pag ako yung nag-a-apply and then umabot ako sa final interview, kasi minsan pag final interview na, it doesn't necessarily mean na parang ikaw na ang kukunin eh. Diba? So usually, pagdating ng final interview, sinasabi ko talaga directly, parang my last request, sir, ma'am, would be if you're gonna choose me, please let me know. Or if you're not gonna choose me, or if you're gonna reject my application, please also let me know. Para I won't be having this false hope na parang, okay, I might have been shortlisted, or might be nasa list na ako and they're just waiting for a vacancy and then they'll let me know, diba? So it's a harder situation na parang di mo alam kung hired ka ba or not. Kaya sabi ko talaga directly, if you can, ma'am, please email me if you reject me. That's fine. I prefer that kasi at least I know my next move, diba? Pero yun nga lang, yun talaga importante. Keep persevering. Even though it's hard, keep persevering. Kasi similar din sa business. Business doesn't always go as planned. Lalo sa business talaga, it doesn't go as planned. So you still have to keep persevering. As long as you have the means, you have the capabilities to continue, even though you see na parang very, very slow progress talaga yun sa business mo, keep persevering. Eventually, it will reward you at the end. So similarly, sa situation ni OP, I hope you still persevere and continue applying. You take a break from time to time. Take a break. You need it. You need it. And it's okay to be frustrated. Parang let it, feel it out. Let it out. Kasi nga parang mahirap dyan kapag kinikimkim mo. It will eventually add up to those parang you're losing hope. So it will add up to that, diba? Yun lang naman. So what's your take in this? Diba? What's your take in this? Yes. Sorry. It's just like something very, yung mga topics kasi ngayon medyo nakaka-relate ako, yes. Hindi naman sa personal, pero medyo parang nakaka-relate ako.
Nakaka-relate talaga. Yeah, gets naman. Yung sa akin dito, ang take ko naman is, it's really about the two things na sinabi niya na. They don't know what went wrong sa interviews. Kasi confident daw sila na maayos yung sagot niya. And I would connect that is dun sa isa pa niya sinabi, dun sa second paragraph niya na someone, it's really, it feels like a failure for someone like themselves na academic achiever no universities nila, diba? So there seems to be a lot of, at least in their writing, there sounds to be, it sounds like they have a lot of pride, a lot of ego, ganyan. Na, ang mahirap kasi dito, kung nag-fail na sila, and they're that confident na basta ayos sa sagot nila, na hindi nila nakikita kung ano yung mali, hindi wala sila may mababago.
Yes.
Kasi paano kung sabihin natin, okay, may mga friends naman siya na may jobs na, I'm assuming na lang, again, with this, we're taking the assumption that syempre problema niya na nagkaka-jobs yung mga friends niya, kung magkaka-equal sila, sabihin natin equal sila ng friends niya, or sabihin natin hindi nga sila academic achiever katulad niya, pero yung mga jobs nila same dun sa gusto niya makuha, bakit sila nakukuha nila? Ano bang meron? Ano bang na kulang? And if you feel that confident na wala kang ginagawang mali, and hindi ka talaga makakita na ano bang pwedeng magawa para
to improve.
Baka isang ano ko dun is baka masyado nga siyang confident sa pagsasagot niya na minsan nakikita mo yun sa tao na parang masyado mayabang. Some people, they don't want that even in terms of sa interview parang okay, good naman na confident ka, pero kung mayabang ka masyado,
Kaya parang overconfident.
makikita nila doon na parang okay, overconfident yung tao, baka hindi natin na makukutusan, hindi to kasi alam nila ako na yung dapat gawin.
Yes.
So, may mga ganun. So, it's also,
Kumbaga, characteristics as a person still plays something with that.
I believe with OBD though, like I would advise them to have a reality check talaga. Ano ba talagang meron sa kanila? Like, okay, it's good na academic achiever. It's good na even the achiever, maybe they achieve talaga maganda yung grades nila lahat. Pero that's not a guarantee na makukuha mo lahat sa sumagawa dahil ginawa mo ito lahat. The only thing that having good grades in university shows you is magaling ka mag-aral sa university. Hindi ito ibig sabihin na magaling ka magtrabaho dito, magaling ka magtrabaho dito.
Yes.
Like, yung mga yun, hindi ko pa nakakuha yung ganong experience, diba? So, it's still better to apply and see nga talaga ano ba meron doon. Ako, natawa nga ako dito kasi nga academic achiever siya. Kaya naman hindi, diba? Pero like, ako, in my own story naman, I look back, nung graduate ako ng college, first job na in-apply ko, kuha agad ako. Alam ko kung anong trabaho yun. Call center. Kasi hindi ako masyado,
didn't try to achieve something bigger.
hindi ako mayabang na parang dapat maganda trabaho. Hindi, gusto ko na magkatrabaho. And then,
Start somewhere.
yeah, working from there, doon ako nakapag na parang, okay, ano ba pwede gawin? Sa ako, nag-law school ako, ganyan, diba? So, nag-apply pa rin ako and all. Pero, it doesn't mean na pag nakapag-apply na ako dito, ito na yung buhay ko. Siguro isa rin yun, I don't know if we have the time for this, pero isa rin yun actually na nakikita kong medyo problema ng ibang tao dito in the Philippines. Actually, it's a East versus West kind of thing, which is, do you stick with one job for your whole life or paliban-liban?
Yes.
Kasi sa very
explore.
Yeah, very Eastern style, Japanese style. I don't know sure kung Korea or China din, pero style nila is where your first job after you graduate, Yun na yung trabaho mo buhay.
yes.
Kasi kung makita nila sa resume mo na lumipad-lipad ka, it's shameful.
Mm.
Pero sa US naman, baliktad na, okay, hindi ako bibigyan ng raise na to, alis ako, lipat ako ng iba. Basta same kind of field.
Yes.
Pero iba-iba ako kung bibigyan ako ng tama na salary. And in the Philippines, it kind of feel like people are stuck in the middle kung ano ba yung gusto nila na, kasi nga, ako, yun yung mga suggest ko na, okay, kumuha ka ng trabaho, get that thing muna, get whatever you need muna, para syempre, kasi,
Pang jumpstart.
jumpstart. Kasi the hard part about this is, kung mag-apply ka na mag-apply, yun, sabihin mo 3 months, let's say, buong 1 year ka na nag-apply, wala ka na trabaho. In that 1 year, you could have had a smaller job while applying for other things. Hindi mas may ipon ka na, diba? Or mas meron ka na pagdadalingan ng pera. So,
and we won't know for sure din kasi dito kay OPD rin naman sinabi what type of jobs he or she is applying for. Baka naman kasi mamaya, ano tawag dyan? Baka mamaya kasi yung ina-applyan niya is way above his experience and skills, diba?
Dito dahil because of the confidence that they're showing, again, with the pretense, that's the assumption that I'm going with, that they do feel like they are deserving of bigger things because of their achievements, their confidence, tama yung mga sagot. And let's say nga ulit na, kumbaga, may mga friends na nagkakaroon din ng trabaho, I would say na lahat yun mga malaking bagay. Kasi nga, what if na, makaibigan ka na, nakuha nila itong malaking trabaho na to, na maybe not for starter level talaga, ano bang ginawa nila?
Yes.
May iba pa sila nila. Maybe they can actually ask them, diba? Hindi din mga
Wait, kasi di rin naman natin, we won't know for sure. Baka yung friends na yun managed to start a job earlier and then kaya the reason why those friends are in their current situation is because they've already improved, diba?
Yeah.
Mga ganon. So we won't really know for sure. But one thing is for sure, like gaya na sabi mo, overconfidence can tend to kill opportunity, diba?
Talaga yun diba? Masyado mayabang. Like, it's okay to have the confidence. Kasi yung opposite na pag ibang tao Like, it's okay to have the confidence. Kasi the confidence is just, knowing that you can fail and you still work towards it. Overconfidence naman is be too arrogant na.
Yes.
Like, thinking that you can do things na hindi mo naman alam talaga.
Yes, parang ano yun, sinasabi nila yung mga fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, even that, minsan okay lang. Basta yung
natatansya mo. Natatansya mo talaga.
Like, yun yung siguro mahirap talaga daw. Maybe for a different time, mapapag-usapan na ba yung tamang timpla na confidence na hindi ka overconfident. Like, siguro it's, I would say na lang, as a quick answer, confidence comes from your experience talaga. Like, you can't be confident with something you've never experienced before. So, kunyari, apply sa jobs, di ka pa sabihin mo na, hindi confident ako na makuha ko to kahit na never ba ako nakakuha ng trabaho.
Yes.
Like, you can fake that naman na, okay, I can try na parang, alam ko na tama na naghahanda ako na maayos, alam mo na ginagawa ko to, pero hindi ako nakakuha ng trabaho, ano pa rin ba yung ulang? Ano yung
what's missing?
What's missing, diba? Yun yung titignan mo naman. Overconfidence naman comes from na parang, hindi ako nakakuha ng trabaho, pero alam ko makukuha ko to, regardless, diba? Na parang, dahil
regardless whether I fit or my experiences fit or not, as long as, kasi I'm parang sabihin mo, parang kinakaya ko lahat diba?
Yun talaga yung doon. May mga dagdag ka ba? Pabili ko, masaya na ako doon sa
Okay na rin naman ako. Okay na rin ako sa answer ko. So, OP, hopefully, you persevere if ever you're having a hard time. Persevere. Learn from your previous applications, no? Kung ano yung sa tingin mong parang mistake that you've been doing on your past interviews. Gaya na sabi mo, you've already managed to land to the final interview. So, that's a good sign already. Maybe, try to reflect a little bit on what went wrong sa mga previous application and try to improve or change something para mas tumaas yung chances mo to be hired. But definitely don't lose hope because all of us went through something similar just on a different situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pero naman nating matututunan dyan. Siguro kung gusto niya ng easy answer para sa kanya, like the PT ko. Baka dito na nakuha. Kahit nagawa mo naman lahat ng tama, baka hindi ka nakuha kasi baka meron iba nag-apply na mas maganda yung credentials.
Yeah.
Lang ako. Gusto mo marinig.
Honestly, yes. That's the harsh truth.
Pwede mo nangyari yun. Pero regardless pa rin, there's always stuff that you can improve on. Yun yung gusto ko talaga masabi sana ma-take away dito.
Yes.
Never be confident enough na naman natin ginagawa, wala naman ako kailangan gawin. And regardless of what your achievements before were, you are making new achievements today.
Yes.
That's what matters, diba?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I think we're good there.
Right.
Meron ka pa bang gusto mo ma-plug at the end here?
I guess I'll plug our page na lang din. Then again, we are Cinestill Studio. That's the main page that we have. And currently we're the one doing setups for podcasts and possibly short films and skits by PUP, Pangit Ugali Production and Pangit Ugali Podcasts soon.tm. So you can check out our page, Cinestill Studio, and the Cinebros production for any future short films or mini web series, hopefully. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Again, we are Pangit Ugali Podcast kung saan pangatang ugali namin. Kaya, nakayos namin. Bye-bye.